guys.
Hi.
Ed farted.
Happy Friday.
Hello. That's not very nice.
That's how we kick off an episode.
It's recorded. I already told Jody he has to cut it into the video.
You ratted that out like within 5 seconds.
Yeah. That's not, like, you can't do
Hey,
that right
people
before.
fart.
People fart, 100%. But, like, if you do it right before the podcast, we're going to discuss.
But if you lift a cheek and that's an intentional thing.
Yeah, you put some.
There's a little different
You
thing
put
there.
a little pepper on it.
If you're going to do anything in life, do it with purpose.
Do it with
That's
purpose.
Little trivia
Yeah.
question. Andre the Giant
Yeah.
was known in professional wrestling circles as being a very flatulent man and loved it.
I mean, he was like,
1 million feet tall.
I don't know if
Had a lot
I
of
would...
intestines.
7'4",
Yeah.
over 400 pounds. I don't know if I want that guy farting.
Probably
Maybe he had
Just saying.
celiac disease.
No, he liked it. He would lift his cheek
I'm
just
not
like when...
saying
yeah,
that
you
you
could
don't
still have
like
it.
it.
Yeah, that's not what
Well,
she said.
But if you have...
Maybe he had celiac disease. No, but he liked it. What does that have to do with anything?
He loved gluten so
Yeah.
much and the farts, so kept eating the gluten.
All right. We got off on
it's a blessing, not a curse.
Okay, let's
See
do
this? Actually, I want to highlight something right here. This right here highlights, it underscores the importance of culture.
Oh, shut up.
Huh?
Farting underscores that.
Yeah, because
and-
we're secure. This is a safe place.
This
Oh.
right here
Yeah.
is my swag.
Oh.
Swag,
Swag.
swag.
Sorry.
The girls love my pretty boy swag. Anyone?
Nope.
There are people in their cars singing, maybe.
Maybe.
Someone at YouTube about ready to copy Stryker.
Oh, maybe.
Again?
We've had one.
No, I'm just...
Okay, then don't say it again.
I just want to make you
Will
nervous.
you start a playlist?
I'd like to
so
start
that we
this show
get
with a
all of
shout
your
out to one of our
musical
loyal
references?
listeners,
You
Julie,
should, an AdSquawk one.
who's the mother of one of my employees. And I just want to say hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi,
I was like,
Julie.
which Julie?
Can't wait to see you next
Which
weekend.
employee?
I'm not going to say.
I think that's pretty easy to
I have
suss
a
out.
pretty good guess.
Julie, thanks for listening.
Welcome to AdSquawk.
Julie,
Oh, I thought that was
I
the
am
end
not
of the
as
show.
dumb as I sound.
We're good.
We're not
on
done.
this
All right.
podcast.
Make
Not
sure you
done.
give a 5-star review.
Yep.
Follow us on the socials.
And if your son
We are up
is who I think he
to
is,
14 5-star reviews.
my
Though
son.
only like 5 people have actually written anything. So, but I'll
That's
take
all
it.
right.
I'll take it.
Hey, I will take...
We're at 14 for 14 when it comes to
What?
5 stars. So,
Wow.
thank you.
I did at least 3 of those.
I will say that I often, when asked to rate something, if I have a great experience, I will give it 5 stars. But yeah, most of the time, I'm not going to take the time to write something.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, no, it's
usually
got to be
I'm
like
on my phone.
Yeah.
Real
It's like,
Yeah.
I got to thumb it out. And I don't know.
And they don't make it very easy to leave a written comment through the app.
Right.
So it's even more steps.
yeah.
So
Lame.
And as they say, you don't get what you don't ask for. So if you don't ask for the 5 stars, you don't get the 5 stars.
oh, we asked for the 5 stars.
I know.
We're
I like
I was
it.
like, we shamelessly solicit
I know.
5 stars
It's
from
good.
Ooh, don't touch
all
that.
of our listeners. All right, welcome to AdSquawk, your weekly deep dive into all things advertising. Grab a drink, pull up a chair. It's a little early for a drink, but
but
Not really.
No shame, right?
no shame.
It's a safe place.
Let's talk shop.
It's Friday.
No judgies, Sean.
No judges.
Callie's
We
in
got a full
town.
house today, so I'm your host, Sean. Today I'm joined by...
I'm Jody.
Eddie.
Danielle's back. It's been so long.
It has been a few weeks. And...
And even longer,
Kallee.
our queen, our Eugene queen.
I was going to say, it hasn't been as long as me.
I know, but I live here.
Oh, yeah, but you're a legitty.
Legitty cityer.
OG crew.
Legitty.
It's been multiple
Yeah.
episodes.
Sure,
It has
sure.
been. Well, it's nice to have y'all back. And nice to have you in town.
Yes,
It's been
always
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a firm segue? And
Should we talk
Callie
about
was in
why I'm
town,
in
yeah.
town?
And going on to our first and only topic of the day.
You took care of that.
Like 4 weeks worth
She's
of
so
sass.
sassy
just
already.
Just, yeah,
immediate.
it's-
Like, it's
I had
pent
a
up.
yerba
It's-
mate. I'm having a vodka Bailey coffees drink, and
I feel
then
like I need to catch up.
a Hawaiian roll is all we're countering that with. So, gotta have lunch after this. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. A lot of sass.
So much
Pent up.
sass.
Sassafras.
All right.
All right, we're talking culture today.
Culture.
Culture.
I like
Agency culture. So we just got back from our annual agency retreat.
Well, 4 of the 5 of the people got back from the retreat. One of them didn't go.
Well,
Well, one of them missed a flight, so
how did that happen again?
Let's chat, let's chat, my people. So, our company was leaving for the retreat the day after my sister's wedding, and my sister's wedding was in Lubbock, Texas, which is not a quick jaunt from where we currently are.
It might be close. It might not.
It's not a quick jump from anywhere.
It's
except
not.
for
It's not a fucking
perhaps
quick. It goes to Vegas
Dallas.
directly, Dallas directly, and Phoenix directly. Okay, and our lovely Carolyn
Okay.
and obviously everyone else wanted me to make it to the retreat, so I stupidly was like, "Yeah, I'll do my best. The only way I can get back in time before you leave is to hop on a 6:20 flight, 6:20 a.m. People, and
In Texas.
in Texas,
And you don't have the mental fortitude to make that happen.
Or an alarm app.
Everyone can eat shit and listen to the whole story, okay?
Well, you paused. I was
What happened?
I thought it was a conversation.
So the wedding
Hey,
ended at 10 p.m.
Safe place. Safe place.
It doesn't feel safe right
the
now.
wedding ended at 10 p.m.
So, but
the wedding itself.
the wedding
Early.
itself,
Actual-
it did. So the
No. The wedding. We're talking about the
ceremony.
The ceremony ended at 10 p.m.
No, the reception. Ended
oh, the
at
reception
10.
ended at 10.
Like the entire
Early.
event was over
That's
at 10 p.m. early. So I was
versus
like,
late.
yes.
Yes.
So I was like, 10 p.m. Chill. Clark and I will go back. I'll go to bed. It'll be fine. Like it'll be a normal amount of sleep. But then everyone was like, oh, we're gonna go to the hotel lobby of where Clark and I were staying for drinks. So I was like, okay, we'll go hang out like for a little and then I'll go to bed. But then my sister and her new husband were like, yeah, we're gonna come kick it too. So I was like,
What?
dang, I have to go hang out with everyone. And then I had a few more drinks. And then it was like, we're going to Whataburger. Everyone there says Whataburger. Fucking dumb. It's the word what? Whataburger.
It's Whataburger.
It's Whataburger. The word what?
It is, but it is pronounced Whataburger.
Okay.
But also, he's from
Whataburger.
Texas.
And also, I say LaCroix, LaCroix. I don't give a fuck what people say.
Whoa. Okay. Well, you pointed it out, so I was just.
I'm ready for
Counter-
I was ready for the
counter-argument.
correction. I
Serve
rabbited you.
returned.
How
It is-
how is
it
it
is-
supposed to be?
It is.
It's
what
what-
a burger. It's 3 words. 3
But they
distinct
say-
words. What a burger.
They say it like
But
Whataburger.
You say Whataburger.
Like
Whataburger.
water?
Like kind of Whataburger. Whataburger.
I say Whataburger. It's
Whataburger.
really
You
not
have
a,
to like eat the
it's-
words at the same
Whataburger.
time.
Not a
Best
big
damn
deal.
burgers in the South.
They were-
Whataburger.
Do you like 'em?
What? I love Whataburger.
Yeah. So
Oh.
we're on our fast food our podcast. It was good. I enjoyed, but I didn't end up going to sleep or like going to bed until 2:30. And at that point, my alarm was set for 4. I should have stayed up, but that's never my
It was set
MO.
for 4?
4
Oh
a.m.
my goodness.
Because I had
2020.
my flight
Hindsight.
was 6:20 and I had to check a bag. So like
I'm with
it's
you.
a tiny ass airport. Security wasn't an issue, but like I needed to get my bag checked.
And get up.
I'm
and
just
get
going to
up.
say I was going to fly in at 5 a.m. But then my husband was like, you're an idiot if you think you're going to wake up at 5 a.m.
Okay, I was just
That's what you
trying-
needed.
I was trying to appease everyone.
A spousal, you're an idiot if you think that's
Yeah,
gonna
he was
happen.
like, if you're going to go out drinking the night before and then get on a 5 a.m. flight, you're dumb.
It was my sister's wedding, so like obviously
Yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of that family in a long time. Shouts to all the people that listen to the pod, they love it. Uncle Michael,
What's up, Uncle Mike?
sup my
Yeah,
guy.
Uncle Michael.
Anyway,
Uncle Michael.
why are you making fun of that?
I'm not.
Can
I'm
we-
just saying Uncle Michael.
Can we
Whataburger.
converse with Whataburger and ask them how to pronounce it?
Yeah, I can try to hit them up on the socials.
Yeah.
Sometimes people respond to me, and
Maybe
sometimes
they'll
they don't.
send us some food.
Maybe we're
I'll
not.
tell you that the Sonic burger is a sort of cheap homage to the Whataburger.
Okay.
Whataburger
I see-
is
I
like
see that.
Sonic, only better.
What makes it so good?
They're really thin patties.
I love a thin patty. That's why.
and
sounds
they're
disappointing.
No, you get the
really-
dub. You get the dub.
No, you get a double patty.
Yeah, you get a double
Oh.
patty.
It's
Misleading.
You get the dub.
they're kind of big and a little flatter, and you get a double patty, and then the standard Whataburger, I believe, is mustard, onions, pickles, and lettuce,
Count
and
me
that's
out.
just how it comes.
Are you not a
And-
pickle fan?
I love a pickle.
Onions?
Mustard and onion.
You don't like mustard?
No, thank
I
you.
get no onion, but I do everything.
rock
Well, I mean,
onion.
you can customize.
Yeah,
it.
you can.
do that,
They
but-
and they do a great custom. Like they listen to what you say.
Yeah.
But the GF option low.
Do they have
And
it?
Whataburgers are all
They have lettuce wrap,
generally clean and well maintained and nice.
The,
and,
the employees, they're not. they're
they
no
have
Chick
rabbit.
Fil A.
They have rabbit
employee,
turd
but they're
ice, and it's in
oh,
foam
I
cups.
love rabbit turd ice.
Oh
And it's
fuck!
in foam
The
cups.
regular size in Texas
Sonic Ice?
in Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Hospital ice.
you know the thing
Oh,
I'm
you don't
curious
think rabbit
about?
turd ice sounds more appealing?
It's a little more.
I actually never heard of it.
Yeah.
It was a great
we'll go
visual.
with
We
it.
knew what you were saying.
Chewy ice. Some
I'm
people
just
call it
curious.
chewy ice.
What do you
Yeah.
think the culture is there at Whataburger?
Just trying to pull it back around.
Okay, well, we're not done with
No.
my story.
I know.
Which could have
I
been
thought it was-
summed up by I drank too much and missed my plane.
Let me tell
The end.
that ruins the experience. Are you not a fan of good storytelling?
No,
Oh. Have you met him?
At this point,
I'm an
That also
excellent fan of
discounts
good
Danielle's
storytelling.
commitment to a good time.
yeah. I feel
wanna
like you're an
start over?
enemy of good storytelling.
No?
you guys can
Only
eat
when
shit.
he's not
I know I'm
telling
telling
it.
a good story.
I think it's a great story.
I know it is.
So let's go back to.
I feel like my humility is just
you
really.
stumble back
No,
to your room.
I want to
Shining
hear
through.
more.
It's 2:30 in the morning. You're like, shit.
My dad drove us to Whataburger. We spent like $200 there for everyone. I go to bed at 2:30. There's a meme about this, and it's like, when you're sleeping, but you feel like you're getting a suspicious amount of sleep.
Mhm.
That's exactly what happened. So I look at my phone. It's 6:20.
What was the first word that came out of your mouth?
I'm not sure. I think the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "I need a light on now." But like, when you let your alarm go off for so long that it's just you look at your phone and it just says alarm for the time it was supposed to go off. Like it silences itself after a certain point.
So you guys weren't waking up. The alarm was going off, but it didn't wake you up.
Yes.
Ah.
Clark and me. And so my phone was on vibrate, but
I
it
would
is
blame
every
him.
morning it goes off. I would never blame poor Clarky. I had a missed call from my dad. I had a text from my aunt. It was like, "Hey, are you at your gate?" And I was like, "Ooh."
Just checking.
Yeah, but I'll summarize the next points that happened. They wouldn't let me on Clark's flight to Phoenix. We weren't on the same flight.
Oh.
And then if I were to get on that Phoenix flight, I could have gotten to our final destination by 1 in time for everyone to like just wait an extra 30 minutes for me.
I would have waited.
But
hour.
they were like, you have to take your original route if it can still get you to your final destination. So that was the case. I got to Dallas at like 10:30, 11 a.m. and then flew out from there at 5 p.m.
Lame.
Does that rule differ if it's the airline's issue of you missing your
Yes,
flight?
yes. So it was my fault.
That's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
When
It's a
he,
really weird rule.
I made
Yeah.
my aunt was on Clark's flight, so I told her, I was like, I need you to come to the gate with me and parent me through this because I don't think I can talk to this guy like well. And like when he told me that I couldn't get on my Phoenix flight, like my eyes welled with tears. Like they didn't fall and I didn't have my voice crack, but I was like, it was the worst news. It was a true blow to my heart.
You're making me want to take it easy on you.
But not quite.
Yeah, but no.
Okay, let's
But
go.
no.
And then she
That's my
erupted up
story.
and yelled at people. You're not my boss. You're not my dad.
You're not my
You're not
father.
God.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about that at all?
We did.
Oh, yes.
Fuck, I gotta listen.
So
Wait,
we
no,
start-
did you talk about it on the pod is my question.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, good. Good. He's a psycho.
He's the best.
Fucking Napoleon ass
yes.
bitch.
All right, that's the end. Thanks
That's
for.
the
Kind of.
end.
I mean, we started
No.
pulling out of town. We're all like, where the fuck is Danielle?
Oh, because I was the only person I was like texting to tell her like shit's not gonna happen was Carolyn, and Carolyn was getting picked up by our bus.
Yeah, she wasn't even.
Fancy culture moment.
Yeah.
Our
in the
company
same city.
chartered a bus for us to drive up to the retreat that I didn't go to.
You missed out on a great bus ride.
I heard our driver's name was Mo.
Yep.
His name was Mo.
There's no other bus driver name that's better than Mo.
No, that's a.
And he drove like we were
Classic.
straight out of Mexico.
Really?
He.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
was.
guessing driving a bus is not Mo's best skill. If it is,
If it is,
he's
that's-
in trouble.
Is that
Yeah.
his side hustle? I hope then.
I hope Mo's not a big.
Eddie's,
Podcast
one of
listener.
Eddie's quotes of the trip.
Did you tell him
not,
about it?
Not my circus, not my monkey. It was one of my favorite quotes of the
I missed
entire.
that.
Not my
Yeah.
chair, not my problem.
Well,
That's my
because
version of that.
we're trying to get up this super steep slope. Into
Oh, it was
the,
that point
Oh,
in the
yeah.
trip. Okay.
Yeah, and there was lots of discussion, and Eddie's hands up. Not my circus, not my monkey.
I feel like that's just like we're all gonna die and there's nothing I can do about it.
It just wasn't his
Well,
fault.
at that point, weren't we like, no, it's cool? And he's like, no.
Yeah,
Like,
Mo said no or Eddie said no?
Mo.
Mo.
Said no about
But-
what?
Because I thought we had like decided way early that we weren't even going to attempt that.
Yeah, everybody.
The hill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that-
yeah.
Mo just
guys
didn't
did the hill that-
communicate.
That's
He
why
kept like just. I'd say, well, you can just park here. Well, I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I have
Don't.
no idea what you just said, and I have no idea what you're gonna do next.
You handled it well, though.
But you
I was
were
proud of you.
outside, like directing him, and
Right.
we're all sitting in there listening to the bottom of the bus
Just
scrape.
Which,
Oh,
by the
shit.
way,
That didn't sound good.
Do you
the
get
second time he tried it, he had 3 feet of clearance. So something changed. I know people got off the bus, but I think he also didn't have his.
little
Oh,
shoves?
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
3,000
His lift
pounds
up.
of people got
Yeah.
off the bus.
So-
I mean,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we were
but-
evenly distributed.
Shouldn't have been the back end that low.
No.
Right.
Anyway,
The
Mo had
physics
some.
don't
Mo,
agree.
yeah,
Chunk in the
Mo had
trunk.
some moments of
Moments.
judgment.
Did you know that was going to happen?
I was listening to a podcast yesterday about what makes people do stupid things. And
Shout them out.
And
Shout
there's
out
like
the pod.
there's like 7 things you should know, I think is the name of the podcast. There are 7 things. One of them is being rushed.
Oh, yeah.
One of them is being in a group setting. One of them is being outside your zone of comfort.
Like in an
all
airport.
of
One
the
of
above
them-
for Mo.
Yeah, all the above.
Yeah.
Which we should actually be thankful that he didn't roll the bus over into the ditch or anything like that.
There were
Yeah.
a few moments I thought that
no,
might
I-
happen.
Yeah.
Well, when he tried the first turn and he went over the
Yep.
culvert,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Oh fuck, this bus is
What's a
stuck."
culvert?
Culvert? It's
Culvert.
it's a where a pipe goes under a road to let
Okay.
drainage through a ditch.
Not like a black ops. That's covert.
Covert. Culvert.
Depends.
CULV.
I thought it was
Mo-
some sort of bush.
Mo
to be
says them the
completely
same
honest.
way.
Anyway, luckily he was able to back out when he hit reverse. Just the sheer weight of the bus going downhill pulled him out. Oh, but that was dicey.
Yeah.
I was like,
When there was
not a good
people-
place to get a bus stuck.
There was people behind us too that I'm sure were like, "What
Oh,
the fuck is
no.
this shit show?"
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
upsetting.
I mean, outside of that little event, anyone that has motion sickness
Was
vomiting, not having a good time, and taking some Dramamine.
There was a
Nobody
lot of,
vomited though.
Yeah,
No
a
one
lot of
vomited?
There's a lot of
Dramamine.
swaying on that bus, though.
Well, Mo saw every corner as an opportunity to turn 16 points. So, but then he'd miss one and go back and get it, and then oh, I missed that one.
You would have lost your mind.
you would have.
I think if I hadn't made it to the bus, I would have probably slept the whole way.
I was showing my wife last night
On the way, yeah.
on the way home from some appetizers and cocktails.
Cute.
I was showing her how the bus driver drove. And she's like, honey, you've had a cocktail. You're going to get a ticket. Don't do this. Like, that's a good
Good
point.
advice.
That would be
Trace.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Getting pulled over. I was imitating a bus
why were you
driver.
driving that way? Oh, I was imitating Mo, the bus driver.
The best would
We
be,
should coin
Oh,
moments.
I know.
Moments, mo money, mo problems.
You
When
know
we
Mo.
first arrived, Mo said to Carolyn, or somehow, well, when I first got here, I said, I'm the guy in charge. My name's Eddie. I'm the guy in charge. Well, I thought Angie was in charge.
Ooh.
Well, no, Angie's in charge of you. I'm in charge of Andy. Okay, so that's just how that works.
Seems like a wild
But-
power
but
dynamic.
When
that
he
everyone
first
had.
showed up, nobody was there. So we were all like, who does he talk to?
Because he
We-
showed up a half hour late.
I know. He spoke to Mel,
Yeah.
and Mel was helping him out. And then Angie shows up. And so then Angie's helping.
Right.
And then you're like, I'm in charge. And he's like, well,
No, I was just introducing myself. Hi, I'm Eddie. I'm in charge
I'm
of this
everyone's
group.
fucking boss.
Yeah, I was just like
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
him context.
I know. The
Anyway,
dude couldn't follow.
so then when we picked up Carolyn, he asked something about her. She
He
asked
go-
her something. She says, "Well, I'm Eddie's partner." He goes, "You two are partners?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "But wasn't that your husband that dropped you off?"
Oh, he thought like
yeah.
domestic partnership.
And it's like,
Polyamorous, baby.
yeah.
maybe, but I think what he thought was that you can't be a business partner with somebody other than your husband.
No, I think he went like.
No, I-
or he's
That's not the way Carolyn framed it, but I wasn't there for the
So I feel like his
conversation, so I don't know.
incredulity. I don't know.
Good word.
To Carolyn,
It's a good
probably
word.
would have been like, "You can't be a business partner because you're a woman."
But didn't
from
he
what I'm
also-
taking,
Right, yeah, that's what I think it
But
was.
didn't
more
he also
so
say
than-
something like, well, what's your role here?
to Carolyn,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
bitch,
Right?
you want to hear about it?
Not bus driver.
You want to see Carolyn snap.
So you guys, this is good that I wasn't there then.
Yeah.
Very protective.
Oh, it was
over
fine.
Whatever.
I mean,
The bus ride was only a small
Yeah,
portion of the
and-
retreat.
Oh, only a 6-hour jaunt. I got a text from, I don't know if it was from you or you first, but
I think we text you at the, like
Exact same
literally
time.
the exact
you did.
same
And
time.
then Jess texted me like, what? And I was like, if I get a fucking text from everyone about
oh,
this.
we should have done that.
You guys should have.
Missed opportunity.
We really
I
should.
almost set
we
a
were gonna.
fat group. I don't have everyone's number saved in my phone, but I was going to send a fat one to everyone whose number I had. Like, hey guys, I know you're not going to have as much fun without me there, but
Oh,
you're
shut the
still going to
fuck
have
up.
fun.
Well,
I
that would have been
promise.
fun because then I could have gone through and tried to figure out whose phone numbers are who by sending random weird texts.
That would have been fun for you.
I did text you and say,
So-
what the actual
Yeah,
fuck?
and I was like, that was when I was still like really depressed about my situation. So I couldn't even be funny or like bratty about it back. I was like, yep, it's all my fault. I fucked up. I'm sad.
'Cause at that
I'm gonna be
moment-
in airports all
I
day.
put
You're
the
just
salt in
stuck.
the wound.
You're just stuck
Yeah.
in the airport.
Yeah.
Drinking.
I didn't drink. I
Okay.
did not drink that day. I couldn't even. Oh, this was also a really sad thing to me. there was a Shake Shack at the Dallas airport, and I've never had it, and I've always wanted to try. But after I don't know if you can tell from my chin, I clearly wasn't eating well in
I can't tell.
Texas.
No.
I couldn't tell.
You look fine.
Should have indulged
You're
in Shake
beautiful,
Shack.
Danielle.
I should have. I
hate
was
mo-
so
Listen,
hungry.
look on the bright
Were
side.
there
or not
like-
hungry.
You didn't get
Were you
headbutted in the face
hungover?
this time.
Hungover.
Yeah.
and
You should have had
no, I
Shake
didn't.
Shack.
You should have.
Guys, I couldn't have another burger. I couldn't do it.
But
I
you
couldn't
should have
do
had
it.
a cocktail and rally.
Or just fries, even.
Yeah,
fries
French
on
fries
those
too.
too.
I got a
Fries and
Subway
shake.
sandwich, which is not my move ever.
Anticlimactic.
Probably
I
not
know.
much better for you than Shake Shack.
If you read no, it's definitely not. But it was just like
It might be a little
Well,
better.
no, it's a
Depends
little-
on what kind of sandwich
Yeah,
you get.
spicy
probably.
Italian is what I went
oh,
with.
Yeah,
then,
nope.
yeah, nope.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Pepperoni and
Cured
salamis,
meats,
yeah,
yeah.
so good.
Meatball.
But I had to go on a mission through DFW to find Sun Chips, like original flavor. I found them. If you want to know where, I tweeted about it.
I would like to know where.
The TGI Fridays kiosk.
That's
Oh.
random.
Yeah,
very random.
no other none of the little like newspaper magazine places. So like everywhere had the harvest cheddar, which is usually delish. But I was in a very specific mood for the original.
I can
Sun
imagine
Chips.
that you have specific moods.
Especially for a chip.
Yeah.
Do you
That's-
ever see original Doritos in the store anymore?
No, I don't think
Okay,
those exist.
do they even make
Define
Is that a thing?
original
Exactly.
Doritos because you're not talking.
That's not
original.
nacho.
nacho cheese.
It's not nacho cheese.
No, what is
right.
it?
You're talking just plain.
Plain Doritos.
I don't think they make
like
them
corn
anymore.
chips.
You're
dating tortilla
yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of, but they're still Doritos.
I've never heard of this.
What?
I've had them
It's
before.
because you're too
Regular
young.
Doritos?
It's because you're just a little baby.
I'm actually older than you, bitch.
I know you are, but you're. I don't. I know what they are from like shows.
Oh, because you're so in tune.
I know from pop culture references.
I
Hey,
maybe
she
had-
watches that '70s show.
Yeah, that counts.
I do. My mom told me, I don't know if I've told you guys this. She's like, sometimes I'm embarrassed of the references that you don't get that like Ed says. I'm like, yo,
Oh,
I
we can
am
talk
young.
about that on
So
the
they
retreat too.
do have them
Yeah.
now, but they call them natural.
Okay.
What a great word for Doritos.
They're natural.
Natural, bitch.
Well, I don't know, but here's what regular Dorito bag
Yeah.
looks like.
so
remember
it's
that.
just a corn or
It's
a
just a
corn
corn
chip.
chip.
a
Yeah.
corn chip.
These existed for years and years and years before there was
Yeah,
ever
that's an updated
nacho
design.
cheese.
Also, who the fuck would choose that over
Nacho.
no Cool Ranch?
Cool Ranch.
Well,
Tapatio.
when you're dipping in
There's
salsa,
Tapatio?
They're the best.
Oh, hit me up.
my
anytime
favorite.
you're going to use a tortilla chip that you don't want flavored, which is like with salsa,
Salsa,
or
yeah.
guacamole or
But
whatever.
why
Those
would you
are
want
the
it in a
move?
snack size? I'd want the big bag.
Well, no, I is this snack size? How can
The
you
big
tell
bag
that's
is snack size.
Context.
I
I mean, there's no
can't.
hand to show.
Hold on.
Have you
Zoom
heard
in.
of-
Hand
Does
for
it say
scale.
the-
Ed, I don't know if you've heard of something
It's
called a
$1.09.
woman's intuition.
This is $1.99,
California-
so
So
I
it's
hope
snack
it's not.
size.
Huh? For
I don't-
$2? No.
Yeah.
Not to
That's
scale.
No,
not
you
snack
buy you
size.
buy the big size in a store. It's like
Yeah, that's like the
$3.99,
it's
$4.99.
like the gas station size. It's not the little tiny one.
No,
that's
no,
like
the one
lunch.
up.
That's like lunch size.
These are
Yeah.
three oh I'm sorry. These are $3.25.
That's a bigger
Oh,
bag.
that's
I saw a bag of
9.75.
chips?
I don't trust a
ounces.
non-Mexican brand to serve me tortilla chips.
Agree.
The brand is Frito-Lay.
No, it's Dorito.
well, it's
Yeah, but
Frito-Lay.
it's Frito-Lay,
Oh, all right.
which is
Fuck
from
everybody.
Dallas, which is, I don't know,
Not Mexican.
debatable.
Let's talk about Tex-Mex.
Santina's.
1964
Trash.
was when the
How dare you?
Doritos.
Them's fighting words.
I said, Sean Hovey thought it was going to be a compliment.
And did you know that the first flavor, the non-traditional Dorito flavor, was not nacho cheese?
What was it?
It was taco flavored Doritos.
Oh, those are chill. Those
which were
exist.
Good.
bomb when I
They're
was a
super
kid.
good.
If you could get your hands on some taco flavored Doritos.
Why
That
didn't
sounds
anyone
really
like the
good.
dill pickle and what? It was dill
Oh, it
pickle
was
and
gross.
ranch
It was
Lay's
gross
chips.
as
Oh, they were the
fuck.
best.
I love
Oh my
them.
god.
There's
No.
they're left over. I haven't
No.
tried yet.
I like pickle flavored
I love pickle
shit.
flavored shit.
It was fucking disgusting.
Is it the addition
Fried
of the
pickle and ranch,
Yes.
and it was amazing.
Oh, we had some of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was so
they're
fucking
left
gross.
over.
Huh.
So many people put a couple in their mouth and were like, ugh.
Oh, so
I gotta
good.
try after this.
I'm not a huge ranch guy. I'm not a huge pickle guy.
Oh whoa.
Okay,
I
can we
tried
talk
one.
about
So we're not friends anymore?
misreferences? Because it relates to the retreat, because Edward brought it up on the bus.
What?
What?
He was,
Sorry.
was he talking shiz?
Misreference. No, not
Which-
talking shiz.
Which missed reference?
So Edward watched a movie,
Oh.
right, Edwy? You want to tell the story about the vigilantes?
Oh, a vigilante.
Oh, a vigilante.
Right.
When was this film released?
2019.
Netflix?
No.
Theaters?
Oh.
Theatrical release.
Okay.
Stars Olivia Wilde.
I like her a
How do I
lot.
not
She's a
know
babe.
What was my hot take? I don't remember.
Okay, so
Is it a vigilante
good
or
bus ride.
so
vigilantes?
Eddie's watching this movie with his family, wife and children.
Oh, I know now.
Okay.
Yes. So there's a scene where
I do remember this conversation.
yeah, this is really bizarre.
I was too far in
But
there.
There's
this
a
is
scene-
so educational.
There's a scene where she's at a bar. She's a victim of domestic abuse
Oh, sad.
and is on a mission. You discover that she finally exercised revenge upon her husband who killed her
Spoiler
child.
alert.
But-
Whoa, a lot of spoiler
got dark.
alerts.
She's a vigilante because she takes phone calls from other women
Wander
who
own
get
hands.
are getting beat, and they
Women
they
empowerment.
give a certain code, and that
J-Lo
means
and
that
enough.
she's going to go and she
Fuck
takes
'em
care
up.
of shit.
I like
She
it.
doesn't usually she
It's
doesn't
like
kill the
Deadpool.
dude if possible, but she will if necessary. But mostly she just beats the living shit out of him and tells him to move away and never come back. So she's at a bar and she's by herself and she orders a drink, and there's some creepy dudes playing pool and a creepy bartender who's friends with the creepy dudes, and it's like, you
They're
know,
conspiring against her.
yeah, you know
Lot of
that the
creepy
rape scene's
conspiracy.
gonna come any minute.
Ooh, don't like my
And-
stomach when those scenes happen.
Yeah, and
No.
the bartender says, "How can I get 40%?" And she goes, "I'm just here for a drink." And she gets up and walks out. And I'm like, "What the f does that mean?"
Look at you,
I was like,
stranger,
why are we
from the word fuck.
self-censoring now?
Well, yeah.
So I rewound it. Well, because I was with my kids.
I see what you're saying. You're,
Did you
okay,
say it out
yes.
loud to them? Or did you was
Well, I
that your
rewound
thought?
it. I'm like, I don't understand
If this
that.
was in text, it would say Eddie exclaimed.
I exclaimed, "What the f?" No, I probably said, "What?" I couldn't hear that, so I rewound it, and we watched again. I'm like, "Did he say how can I get 40%?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, I think that's what
What
he
does
said."
that mean? Yeah.
So of course I Googled it while
Did it
everyone else
good?
continued watching the movie, and then my wife knew I Googled it, and she's like, "What's it mean? What's it mean?" I'm like,
I don't
want
to talk in front
not
of
right now.
about this in front of
She's
Olivia.
like, "No, does it mean this?" I'm like, "No, honey, right now, not right now." And she's like,
Do you have a code word for that?
"Well."
You should have just handed her your
She'd had a
phone.
few cocktails. Normally, she would be like, "Oh, okay, not for now,"
That's so not my
because there's not
personality.
much that we won't talk about in front of our kids,
Right,
honestly.
right.
Not now.
But what 40% is
Curves.
referring to is that there was a study that by the University of North Carolina that claimed to show that women who ingest semen a couple times a week,
Twice a week, usually.
twice a
less.
week, yep,
Yeah.
have a 40% less chance of breast cancer later in life.
It seems like a fake
was
ass
a
man study for
double-blind
like.
study.
Well, of course it does.
Hey, did you know that if you do this, you won't
Conducted
get
by a
the next-
male
but
panel of
Yeah.
scientists.
How can I get 40% is basically saying, you know, I want a BJ with a happy finish, or however.
Whatever. You got to
Characterize that.
you got to be happy with a sweater.
I want a- I want
Well,
a
no, I
woman-
know.
I want a woman that's not a quitter.
Yeah,
100%.
shit.
And so the real discussion entailed not so much the term itself and the use of the term in parlance or in ghetto parlance or whatever. Ghetto's probably
Ghetto
not the right word,
parlance.
but urban dictionary is where I looked it up. So that's
I like the word parlance.
but the use of it in a movie of such an obscure saying, and then, but when I looked it up, the first thing that came up was in the movie a vigilante so and so
So
says.
that's not a good reference because no one's gonna identify
well,
it.
but
That was
people were
our-
obviously looking it up because
Yeah.
that was a. So anyway,
But our discussion was based on the fact that they used that reference
But
and
there-
nobody knew
and no
what
one
it
knew-
but
meant.
there is
like-
something about there is a fine line there. You do want, like in advertising, people often want to say, "Well, I'm not sure the audience will get that." Well, you want them to barely not get it.
Yeah.
In
Right.
other words, you want people to be curious and go, "Oh, you know, the best jokes I think are joke grenades."
Only some people
you
get
tell
it.
the joke, and about 15 seconds later, someone goes, "That's fucking funny." Same way with any sort of concept closure. So, on one hand, I think that the movie, the writers, it was brilliant because got me to look it up, and somehow it was kind of a throwaway line. I mean, he just sort of muttered it under a breath, but it was sort of a pivotal moment. So.
it makes the movie
It made
feel
me.
smart.
It made
Yeah.
me want. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
made me. Obviously, it made me look it up. I
Yeah.
rewound it, listened to it, decided what it said, and then looked it up. So that happened. So that's smart on the movie's part. But as a director and a writer, you have to be willing to have
Take
a
that
bunch of
risk.
people just like
Yeah.
I don't
flow over
get
it
it.
and never get it. Right?
Crystal talked about this on
But
this
are they
podcast.
missing something? I mean, it wasn't crucial to the plot.
Right.
Yeah.
You still knew the guys were going to go out in the parking lot, think they were going to get some, and got their asses kicked.
They
which
got
was
some,
kinda
all
I
right.
fun.
love it. I want to watch this.
Was she
movie
a good
now.
action lady? Like her fighting, was it super cool?
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially given, so last night, we've been trying to watch some old classic, or just movies that I consider old classics.
From 2019?
No,
It's an old class.
no. This is a segue.
Okay.
Last night,
Give him some time. Give him some time.
The segue's still working itself out.
last night I made my kids watch the Highlander.
Oh,
Yeah,
from
there
the
could be
80s.
only one.
you're coming
Right?
up, Diane McLeod.
Yes, with the with the Spanish guy born in, what did he say? He was born in, where was he from? He was a Spaniard born in Africa or whatever, and he has a Scottish accent.
Yeah, weird.
Sean Connery. But the fight scenes that I remember from that movie, I remember seeing it in
Oh,
the
they're
theater
trash
with
now.
my brother
Yeah.
and going, "Oh my god, those are the coolest fight scenes."
And they're trash.
And then we watched them last night. I was like, "Ooh, that's some bad
Yeah.
fight scenes." So, in comparison, Olivia Wilde kicked
She
ass.
kicked booties?
No, her fight scenes were really cool.
Good.
They did a lot of like.
There's your segue.
They did a lot of like
They were-
an immediate punch,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything's quiet, and you see blood on the floor. And, you know, it's
Oh.
like they fast forward past a lot of stuff, but there was some cool shit in there. Yeah.
Speaking of cool shit and fight scenes,
Yeah.
have you seen the video of what should have been the Obi-Wan Kenobi Darth Vader battle
Yes.
from Star Wars? Have you seen that?
No.
No, this is actually
What's with that? Oh.
He's being a nerd.
that's him making
That's
fun of me nerding
Eddie's
out.
mouth breathing
So
noise.
we talked on last week's podcast about how good the technology is on video stuff.
Right.
But if you watch that video, it's insane. It's so good that you forget. You're like, that never happened. How is that possible? How did you guys make that? Anyway, it's really good.
I was thinking the same thing. We went and saw the live action version of Lion King.
Yeah.
And how they made those animals just is beyond my comprehension of
Did you
how
have
real they looked.
Was there a moment, or did you have a moment in that movie where it almost? There was points where I felt like it was weird that they were talking. Like my brain
I
wasn't.
totally felt that the storyline was too simple once they were real animals.
Yeah.
If they're animated, then it's like, okay, I'm here for an animated storybook simplicity.
It was
and
pretty
so-
much a shot-for-shot remake.
was.
and it was. I
Really?
mean, it was
It
really
was.
good, but it
I haven't
was
seen it yet.
with their other live-action remakes. They've taken some chances and they've done some things that were a little.
They're redoing Mulan.
Yeah,
I saw
it's
that.
like they're doing like 7.
When the animated version was done,
You have goosies.
I do have goosies.
Are you getting excited
I have
right
an
now?
insight.
Oh my god.
This is what happens when I get an insight.
Yeah,
Okay.
this happens a lot. Sometimes he gets really excited and manhandles the microphone, and then he does this, and you can't understand anything he says.
Oh my god.
What's the insight?
So the insight is that when the original movie was made and it was done in animation, one of the big ways that they made it feel more real was to do traditional camera moves with the perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So, right? So all of a
Okay.
sudden when they're showing a bunch of birds flock and take off from a lake, the camera, so to
The
speak,
tracking shot. Yeah.
it's a tracking shot of a flyover, and so even though it's animated, the perspective was given as if it's being shot through camera.
That's
right.
cool.
And they're
smart.
doing all
That's
sorts
really
of crazy stuff with the camera
Yeah.
that you wouldn't be able to do. So now you fast forward and it's actually live shots. You're like, well, but that is what it is, and now it doesn't translate. It's not cool anymore because it's like, oh, well, you took a camera, but that's what you would do, right? And so, and some of the things you could accomplish in animation with this perspective don't hold up because now you're thinking of it as being a real camera, and you're like, wait a minute, those animals wouldn't act that way. It's just, it's the theater of the mind.
Reconcile all that
It
stuff in your
turns
brain.
off just enough of the theater of the mind that it didn't work for me.
Yep.
But I've heard tons and tons of very positive reviews.
I enjoyed it,
just-
but it wasn't.
Yeah, it just didn't.
But I also
I just didn't
heard,
think it was like all that.
I also heard that the biggest complaint is that it lacked the emotion that the original had.
Right.
Totally.
Because when you're doing the live action, they can't convey that same.
How do you train those lions?
With the faces.
Do that.
Yeah, with the faces, or even with like the body movement to a
yeah,
certain
like when
extent.
he's flipping his hair
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But at the same time, watching a real animal die seemed more
More painful.
painful
Yeah.
for me to watch than watching an animated
But-
animal die.
Did he
But
get
in live action,
trampled?
does the animal actually die? Like, is that real footage of an animal dying?
No.
Is
Well,
this
no,
a really
none of it-
ignorant question?
None of it
okay.
is real animals.
Cool, to ignore that one.
Whoa,
Cut
whoa,
that
hold
out.
on a second.
I mean, I'm
What?
sure they're modeled after animals somehow, but I don't know how they do that part. Like
Okay.
the CGI part.
I'm just gonna say the best casting choice of the movie was John Oliver.
Who's John Oliver?
Yeah.
Zazu.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Timon was a pretty
Zazu,
good
what the
casting
fuck is
too.
that?
Yeah.
Timon.
I was thinking
Billy-
I was thinking
Billy-
Pumbaa with Seth Rogen, but
Billy Eichner.
Billy
I
Yeah.
love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is he in?
A bunch
has
of
his own
shit.
comedy
He has his own on the
show.
street with
Billy Eichner.
yeah, and he's just like harasses people.
Yeah. that was a
He was
good one,
also
too.
he's also on Parks and Rec. What's his character's name? He's a fucking psycho. He's hilarious. Does anyone know in the room?
Yeah.
And
Billy Eichner and Seth
Rogen, you had it.
Rogen.
You had it.
Yeah.
Trust
I think
yourself.
I said Grogan though.
A little bit.
Yeah, Seth
The
Rogen.
G's silent.
Their combo was pretty good.
It was, yeah.
But the chemistry between Nala and
B
and
Donald.
And
yeah,
Mr.
whatever,
Glover.
didn't
No.
really translate to me. Well, I mean, mostly between the two CGI animals, not necessarily the voices.
I think
I also
Beyonce
felt
has
a bit
good
of a
voice for
disconnect
Nala.
there, though, too, just in the voices to what was actually.
Yeah, and Eichner, from my reading, Eichner and Rogan were the
They're
only
buds.
ones that
Oh,
that
drinking.
recorded together.
Yes.
Versus recording on their own.
Cheers.
Then, but usually
Cheers.
people do record separately
Nice,
for
I'm gonna
animated
really
films
drink.
like that.
All right.
Get back to the retreat. Tell me things that happened. Like the only inside joke that I've like gleaned into is the fact that you guys all call Nick Captain Coos now, and it's like not gonna call him that. Probably wouldn't have if I were there, but I do feel like I wasn't part of it.
Captain
I think
Coos.
it kind of depended.
If you're on his boat,
Yeah.
there was a pontoon. I fucking love a pontoon
but
boat.
we really
those are the
didn't
best.
utilize it to its
No.
capacity. Like
No.
we should have cruised.
Did
on
you
the
guys like?
pontoon.
Did
Why
you play
didn't
the
we?
song?
So we get to the lake and the weather's shitty.
Yeah.
Really?
So we're
like
all
overcasty?
cold, like
Well,
covering
it wasn't
in our.
shitty. It was 85 degrees and cloudy.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Just
It was
not-
like 69.
So shit.
Yo, yeah, you did.
I don't think it was 85.
It's always 69.
It's always
degrees.
69
morning?
mentally.
Was it that
We
warm?
were like
That
under
warm?
our towels shivering, waiting for the sun to come out.
We were there 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden
No,
it
it
was
was like an
immediately
hour and a
90
half.
plus. Like,
I'm not
Okay.
complaining.
I packed
That
a
was nice.
a work appropriate one piece for this.
Well, I
trip,
just
and-
think that people
Why?
in podcast world, when they hear the weather was shitty, they're thinking like 45 degrees and
All
rain.
right, fuck off. It was 69.
I'm from LA, so shitty lake weather to me is 69 and cloudy.
Always. We didn't really have one person other than you, Eddie, that was staying sober.
Right.
You
So-
stayed. s-
He was driving the
Yeah?
ski boat.
Yeah, I was driving a ski boat.
You are an adult human.
He made
man.
up. He made up for it later that night.
Eddie, that's
Well, you
very kind of you to take care of your employees because
Well, he was-
those waivers that we signed were like you might die and it's not our fault. So it's nice that you were
there
responsible.
was conversations about like because there was a lot of people trying to
Were the-
wake surf and just the idea that
For
could
the
come up-
first time.
that could come up and hit you in your face.
you know they
the
signed.
board.
They
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
signed the waiver. You know.
Yeah.
What happened then?
But I want to
Can
transition.
I talk about?
No,
I want
nobody
to talk
got hurt.
about an epic female moment though, because
Yes.
we were on the ski boat and a few people had wake surfed, and then one gal,
Meg Rob.
Meg Rob, wanted to
Bleep
surf.
the last name.
And so we had a couple dudes that were trying to coach her through it, and they failed. And so finally we were like, bring in the female. And
The other Meg.
comes in and coaches it out.
Meg Purr.
And she gets up. I mean, not for long, but she still did it. And it was fucking epic to be like,
Women
sometimes it
empowerment.
takes a woman's mentality and touch to help coach other women.
Yeah.
Or said another way, women will only listen to other women.
That's not fucking true.
It could, hey, it
There
could
was-
be either one.
there was no
I'm just
mental
pointing
block.
out-
I just listened to you.
I
I'm
don't
pointing
want
out
to,
that there's two perspectives.
but
of
I
that.
also don't want to discount how hard Megan was trying.
She was
Right.
trying
She
hard.
was trying really
Meg Rob?
hard.
Right.
Yeah.
That's hard to
And
do.
so-
It took me what 6 times?
I've
7
never
times?
wake surfed.
I haven't either.
Did you try?
No, I decided to wakeboard.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate because I'm
Don't-
fine.
I'm fine with that, but
Don't
I'm fine with the
argue
idea
just to argue.
that
but
I was like, what is this podcast? Like, it is absolutely arguing just to argue.
But I want to
Well,
argue
that's
against
you.
the point that
I'm me.
yeah, no, I.
she tried really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
No one else had the balls to get up there and do that.
Well, no, I would just
I
say
did.
that this is the classic.
have balls.
On the boatload that we had.
This is the classic mayonnaise jar lid, right?
Right.
Someone tries 3 times and,
And then
can't
they
get it, and then
loosen
someone
it.
comes up and
Yeah,
gets it
fuck off.
because it was loose.
Yeah, fuck off.
For the
Well,
record,
I'm not saying it's true. Why so angry at me? I'm just pointing out.
I'm trying
Nick,
to have like a moment of female
Captain
empowerment.
Coos, he was the first one to wake surf.
But
He's like, awesome.
He's good at that. He does it frequently.
Yeah.
And then he tries to be all humble about
Yeah,
it.
he's like, mm-hmm.
Of course he is. I have been
That
seeing.
was his summer job
Yeah.
all the way through college, was teaching people how to wake surf.
dude.
and so he's
and
all like
surf.
literally surfing the wave.
Yeah, he was
I have
killing
said
it.
since Nick has been hired that he lives a secret life that
Yeah,
most of us
the
don't
Coos.
know
Yeah.
about.
He legit got
It's true.
picked up from the retreat in like this private car. And we were like, huh?
Okay, bitch.
Okay, bye.
You
it was
fancy
weird.
little V. I love it.
He's fancy.
What were you gonna say?
He's the Coos.
His father told me an interesting insight into him.
Let's
and
share.
that is that he's super cautious and he's going to
I love that.
learn things very slowly and at his own pace. But then one day you wake up and he'll be an expert.
He's
at
an
it.
expert.
Right. He's
He's
like,
definitely a slow roller.
I see
Yeah.
that.
I see that for sure.
He's quiet.
He's quiet, but he's so funny. Like if he wants,
Oh, yeah.
if he'll talk to you, he's the funniest person.
One of my favorite moments was when I sat next to him at a monster truck show.
Yeah.
That's a different Nick.
Was he drinking?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I think
He was in his
that's-
comfort zone. He was with his buddies.
That always
Also,
helps.
It
the
was-
other day,
It was fun.
I've never heard Nick talk more than when we were talking about The Bachelor.
Really?
Oh my God, he loves it.
Homeboy loves him
And
some Bachelor.
he rolls
It
with
makes
some
me-
bros. I mean, he absolutely has a bro.
How
It
did I
made me
miss
like
that?
him so much.
I don't even watch that show.
All right, so I'm going to transition this back to the topic at hand.
We've been. I mean, this is all culture.
It is all culture.
Callie
but
sitting talking with Nick about the fucking Bachelor in
But
the office is fucking agency culture.
here's the thing. When you spend time outside of work with your coworkers, you discover different facets about them. But here's the cool thing. There's a bunch of really cool people that work in our agency. But if you don't provide opportunities to get to know those other facets,
Yeah.
you miss out on that.
Yeah. Totally.
So
Which-
you're discovering facets of Nick that you would never know because you
But
don't.
also, I have
She's
the
in a
most
different
opportunity
location, too.
because
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not here
Yeah.
every
Right.
day.
100%.
It's harder
And
for
so it's
Callie.
opportunity for me to learn them, and it's opportunity for them to learn
Right.
me, which
Is important.
I'm sure I
It-
did great.
Yeah.
Not.
You did well.
I didn't drink excessively though.
I don't
so-
think anybody
Usually
really
a
did.
good thing. Didn't no one drink too much?
No, I don't think anybody. Nobody got sick.
We did not.
Nobody
get
was
crazy.
super hungover.
What was everyone going with? The
it was
Trulies
pretty
on the boats?
quiet
It was.
on
Yeah.
the road back. I mean,
Oh,
everyone was-
yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
but I also heard that's due to the fucking delicious food that everyone was overeating.
Oh my god, I gained
Yeah,
like
there was-
5 legitimate pounds.
I was in a
So
coma.
many compliments to Ed's mother and
Oh.
everyone else that was involved. I'm sure Eddie and everyone else who took hand in that, but it was like, had I made it to that trip after everything in Texas, I would have.
You'd have died.
I would have
You know what?
exploded,
This is the universe saving your life.
saving me 15 pounds.
But let's also props to Angie.
Yeah.
Because
Snacks.
props
on
to
the-
Angie's always.
Well, on the
Oh,
bus,
she-
it was like
she slayed it.
phase 1 of snacks.
Yeah,
Here's the
exactly.
first thing I'm going to release
She
to you
was-
guys
She has
to
a
get you
flight.
excited.
Here's your first flight
And
of
then-
snacks.
Prefix menu.
Phase
of
2
snacks.
of snacks was hand-cut veggies and fruit from Angie.
I love
Like,
her.
she's
She's our mama.
The cookies,
Oh, she made Jello shots.
the best Jello shots I've ever
Ever.
had.
And she did
Hands down.
tequila ones, which shockingly
Unheard
were
of.
great.
Yeah.
They
And we're great.
so-
Usually a vodka.
They were so good, you could take the Jello out of the cup and still
It was-
read.
It was together.
It was so good.
Yeah, I believe
She's-
that.
Yeah,
She's also
superhuman.
You guys also don't know how hard Angie is on herself yet, because all I heard from
Oh,
Angie was,
she's- yeah.
I forgot to bring Ed's Coke up from underneath the bus.
Well,
and I'm
I
like,
hope she's listening to this and can hear how much we appreciate
She is
it.
Well,
and
I think
thebomb.com.
very close to firing her.
Oh my God.
you're such a bitch ass for saying that. Such a bitch ass.
Angie, we love you.
Here's my jacket.
You did so good.
No
Woman.
more wire hangers.
Yeah, where's my Jack and Coke,
So-
woman?
There's a reference nobody gets.
No.
Wire hanger? Everyone knows that.
Not
Fire hanger?
no.
Duh.
What movie is it from?
I couldn't tell you the movie, but I'm familiar with
But
the ref. It's not Carrie, but it's like the Mommy Dearest.
Oh, she got it.
Oh,
Wow.
boom. Good pull from Danielle.
Yes.
I am very impressed with you right now.
I use that quote. If I use the quote, even if I haven't seen the movie, I make sure I know what it is.
All right.
That's very smart of
All
you.
right. I stand corrected. You're amazing. Well, you were amazing to start
Yeah.
with. I just didn't think you'd get that quote.
Yeah, I'm smart.
I said it the other day and nobody got it. They're like, "Oh my god, that's horrible.
One
what is
thing,
that?"
one
They got
thing
a little
that
hair?
I'm going to segue for you. One
Thank
thing that
you.
I thought was really cool about the retreat was that
I love that.
none of us were on our phones checking email.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We disconnected from work for a little bit, which typically when
not-
on a work function,
Even Carolyn.
yeah,
Okay.
you don't really see that when you're hanging out with your
Yeah.
coworkers. So
Yeah.
it was really, really cool to see everyone just completely forget about work for a while and just connect on a personal level.
Yep.
I used Monday to catch up on all the emails from the prior week.
You would hear different conversations about work every once in a while.
Yeah, but that's going to happen
But,
organically
yeah, I
anyway.
mean,
There's no way to avoid
Honestly,
that.
that is kind of the string that ties us all together.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we really,
Outside of our amazing personalities.
I mean, but we're all really cool.
Yeah.
So I think we
Amazing.
really
Humble.
did optimize that opportunity to bond.
Yeah. Now, so like, I know you're not trying to make me sad, but you are making me
Well,
sad.
as you should.
Yeah.
Well,
be.
but I will say this. That's just one, and I go back to the whole idea of facets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one opportunity to connect with people. But here's the difference. You are super outgoing.
Yeah. I
So
talk to
you
people.
connect with people. So if you contrast you versus the Coos,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
two totally different styles where people were like, "Oh my gosh, I learned so much about Nick."
Yeah.
You kind of wear everything on your sleeve.
Yeah. It's compulsive. It's
Yeah,
not like
but-
I can handle it.
But that again, all of that stuff, the intentionality to A, hire good people,
Yeah.
and B, give
Yeah, I agree with
opportunities and provide a safe place, really. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but there is some safety. If errors are made, if things go wrong, they're addressed and we grow from them.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal, specifically with the partners. They're
Well, it's
really,
top-
really good at that.
It's top down, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have to be intentional with that, and then it allows the rest of us
Right.
to kind of flourish in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember conversations I had with Carolyn about that stuff
Years ago.
way
Before
before,
you
I
worked
started
here.
working here.
Yeah.
And just the
Would
intentionality.
she bring it up to you?
Oh yeah, yeah. We would talk about culture stuff because I'm a super nerd on that stuff. I love reading books and
What?
I know I love that stuff, and it requires intentionality.
But I would
Well,
also say,
I would add to that it's not just about creating moments around fellowship or whatever you want to call it.
Fellowship is
Fellowship's a really
a
loaded
fucking
word.
nerd way to
It
say
is a
it
nerd
too.
word, but I couldn't think of another word
It's
there.
chill. It's chill.
But it's also about learning how to hire into your culture.
Absolutely.
Because I've been at companies where the idea of spending 2 days with my coworkers
you
at
Blammo.
Jackpot or wherever was just like, oh my
Hell
god,
no.
Yeah.
I cannot sit
You
next
dreaded
to.
it.
I cannot sit next to so and so.
When do you
or
think-
such and such for 6 hours on a bus?
Eddie, when do you
Fuck
think
that, yeah.
that shift of like, I don't want to fucking hang out with them to like, I'm actually looking forward to this and like hanging out with people outside of work? When did that happen? What year would you say for our company?
I think it's been in existence
day one.
The whole
day
time?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
because we've had a very
It's-
intentionality around
yeah.
our hiring. Now, having said that, we haven't always hired well for the culture.
Yeah.
We always had intent to, and we've always, and so
Well,
we've
it's so
what we've
hard.
done is
It's a hard
we've
thing to do.
well, what we've done is we've now streamlined our hiring process, or not streamlined.
I don't know
but,
if it's so
but
long.
Modified.
streamline's
Yeah.
not the word, but modified our hiring process to be better at sussing out whether someone's a cultural fit.
Whether
Because
they're
we've
chilled or
definitely
not.
hired people who have not been cultural fits, and there was a
Name
moment.
them first and last name now.
There were been 3-4 years ago we had our, was it Tiny Beans or whatever it was called?
What's Tiny Beans?
Or,
I know what you're talking about.
What the fuck
What
is
was that
Tiny
called?
Beans?
No,
it was
Tiny
Tiny
Beans.
Pulse.
What?
Tiny
Yeah,
Pulse?
Tiny
Yeah.
Pulse. Yeah.
Tiny Pulse.
I prefer Tiny Beans. What was
Yeah, I
Tiny
don't know
Beans?
what
What,
Tiny
was,
Beans is.
what was the intention of Tiny Beans? We're calling it
Tiny
that.
Pulse. Okay.
We're calling it Tiny Beans.
It
Freudian
basically
slip,
was now we have that smart sheet of doing a shout out to
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
whatever. This was an online app that people could post
Well,
their
and
comments
it was email
and
blasting you.
And people were
and
people were being shitty about it and just talking like this person sucks for this reason.
well,
there was some mad shit.
there was some anonymous commenting. I remember one being something about if my boss if my boss didn't have the attention span of a gnat, or and there was just some around.
Kallee.
You know who's fucking reading those.
Like I remember at one point
The
Dumb
cell
bitch.
phone one.
when you first.
It wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you, but he was new to the company and his phone dinged or did something, or you were trying to hook something up.
Yeah.
And I said something in the staff meeting out loud. I said, "Hey, Jody, 2006 called and
What's their iPhone
they
4
want
back?
their iPhone 4 back or iPhone 3 back, whatever it was."
It was just a sick ass
funny.
burn.
It
Is
was
what he's
funny.
saying.
It was funny. It was a good burn, and it was a burn between friends, and it was in the staff meeting. Someone had a problem with that. That is not. That was just
do you have to-
unprofessional.
You're tech shaming.
So
Yeah.
tech shaming or whatever.
That's exactly what it was.
And there was a period where I was very frustrated about the fact that we can't have any humor, especially like in staff meetings. Like
Yeah.
if you can't handle,
advertising
agency.
yeah, exactly. If you
Like-
can't handle a typical Saturday Night Live skit, you should not be in the ad business.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely
If you're
not.
offended by Saturday Night Live, that is parody and satire, which is the kind of humor I personally like to do.
Yep.
And so there's been times when we've had, but it's always been just one or two mishires.
Cancer.
I mean, I'm not saying that we won't have further mishires,
it's hard.
but we're getting
It's
better
hard.
and better.
Yeah.
But
And Angie's a great example.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and we're
she's
also
a
of the
joy.
size now, and business and the economy is so good. I mean, knock on wood, and I think that it gives us a lot more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a point now where we can hire what I call opportunistically.
Yeah.
Opportunity
In other words, we
hires,
don't
yeah.
have to wait for a position to be open. We can say, "Hey, this is a person who's got great skills sets,
How can we
and or
utilize them?
fits in the culture. How can we find a place for them?"
I will also say, out of everyone here, other than Eddie, I've been here the longest, but I've always bragged about, compared to other agencies in the market, we are the most family oriented. Like, we feel like a family
Right.
when you
Yeah.
walk into our office, and that's intentional with the hiring, with doing things like this. Other agencies, truly, you don't hear about them going on retreats, or at least they don't talk about it on social media, so we don't know. But they're not allowing the cultivation of a family
Yeah.
by not taking those opportunities.
Yeah.
I think that too many companies.
View the risk.
No, I think that they view culture as an opportunistic way to advance their business versus a underneath thing that makes the business. In other words, they fall in love with, I'll just say, maybe being outside magazines, top places to work or something like that.
Yeah.
These kudos and these instead of just like getting down and making tortillas. I mean, that's
Doing it for real ass, doing it for fake.
I will say this. I learned this from my parents. I owe this to them.
Love that.
Look at his goosies.
But
Oh, he's
you
getting
know,
an insight.
they
More insight.
they were just the type that would just have the neighbors over and make tortillas or tamales or whatever. You just treat people like humans, and then everything flows from there.
It's the power.
agree with
It's
that.
not about
power of
posting
nice.
on
Yeah.
Facebook, "Hey,
Yeah.
we had our neighbors over and we made them tamales,"
Right.
because they have
we're great
7 kids
and
and
we're
we
good
know that
people.
they don't have a lot of, and we're good people.
It's walking the walk,
Right.
not talking the talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Letting people find out about it sort of
Authentically.
yeah. Don't beat your chest about it. Now, having
do
said
post.
that,
We do post.
We do post.
We do
and
post.
we have a robust social media sort of strategy now, which
'Cause we got great people in our
sometimes
dig department,
actually
biatch.
makes me uncomfortable. There's some posts where I'm like, ooh,
like
I
what?
wish I
Give an
would,
example.
But can I also say, we're not posting
but-
being like, retreat, because we're
Well,
building
and-
culture right now. And we're
yeah,
so
we
great.
just post
It's just
great
us.
time with these people.
I
Yes,
think it's genuine,
absolutely.
but I want to know an example of a post that made you uncomfortable. Sorry for putting you on the spot. I can keep talking while you think if you want.
Yeah, I'd
I
have to go
got
back
a
and look.
lot of fucking
but
gas in here,
That's
baby.
a gift.
Full
it's,
tank.
none of them are. I guess what I would say is that for me, what I've had to learn is that
As
it's no
the-
longer about me. There was a long time where everything was connected
Back to
me,
Eddie.
right? Exactly. Now there are people looking at our social media who have relationships with 20 people in this company and don't even know me.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have to realize that it's not it's not what I would do or how I would do it. It's the company is the company. The enterprise is the enterprise. And the enterprise is a collection of all 30 people plus a bunch of other outside factors, plus our philosophies and everything, right? So I guess that's, it's not like it's a specific, I wouldn't say that. It's just maybe not how I would say something, or maybe I would err on the side of not saying something that we did say, but it's not about me.
You want to collab more on like our copywriting for our social posts? You want to?
I would review them, but I don't.
If you want to
but
post
at the
once a
same
month.
time,
Yeah.
But that's the point. Is that no? Here's the thing,
I haven't
and
been doing
I want to
that,
make this
for the
perfectly
record.
clear. What I think in my head, if I don't come out and make a decision, say, hey, I want this to happen, it's because I've resolved it that
They'll handle
it's
someone
me.
else.
It's my problem. It's not a problem, right?
Yeah. And you're trusting your people to do
interesting.
their jobs.
And,
You
and
hire
the
the
only
right people.
time that I get really kind of on copy is if it's just not well written. I don't love. We're an ad agency, right?
Should be funny.
And it should just be
Smart.
It should be good use of the English
of
language.
language, yeah.
Right.
I feel like we don't. I need to go through our things.
It's always
make sure
very
we-
small stuff. I mean, it's just little things.
You are particular with writing though,
I
as
am.
you should be.
Yeah.
As
I feel
you
like
should
words. I feel like words. Matter.
Words matter. They do.
And I don't mind. By the way, I don't mind using language and vernacular.
yeah.
I don't mind slang. I don't mind.
No, you don't.
Using.
Eddie will come up to me
language.
after I send an all staff email like, "Hey, that was really funny, thanks."
Yeah.
And it's just like
I
telling
don't
people to
mind
fucking do their dishes.
using language as long as it's smart use of it, right? You can twist language as long as you're twisting it in a smart
Well.
way. And I realize that's highly subjective. But I
it
feel
is.
like that's kind of one of the things that I'm
That's your strength. A strength of
good
yours.
at
Yes.
is looking at things and saying, will that resonate?
But people, I understand that people's styles are different. Like I have a different writing style than you do,
Right.
than Cassie does, than Kallee does, than Carolyn does, than any of those people in this room do.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? How do we see things evolving over the next couple years in order to
Culture-wise.
Well, culture-wise, but also
Biz-wise?
it's so based on current politics, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit, because we live in a society where people are highly sensitive and offended easily, and we
Cancel
have
culture.
to kind of
We should have an episode on cancel culture. Noted.
well,
On what?
Cancel culture.
I don't know what that
Cancel.
is.
Yeah.
Cancel culture
So-
is like someone says something shitty and everyone's like, cancel them. They don't exist anymore. Like they fucked up so bad that they can't come back from
It's
this.
like
Right.
when that Christian group petitioned Netflix to stop making Good Omens, and Netflix was like, "We don't make Good Omens."
Yeah, it's Amazon.
Oh,
Stuff like that.
They
Like
had like a 10,000
okay.
petition.
Yeah, you
sign.
guys should do a
We should do
episode
cancel
on that.
Yeah.
promoted Satanism.
Yeah.
Right.
I just feel like we're on a better track than what we were before, even being in a society
Yeah.
that's highly sensitive.
And I think that's mostly people based. I think it's more ground up than it is top down. In other words, it's
That makes
the people we've hired, and it's
People that
it's
have
the
stayed.
relationships that the more senior folks like yourselves
like me.
have fostered
JK.
with new people, bringing them into the flock.
Yeah, that was so intentional.
And then it is top down, because actually in the early days we did a lot more top down stuff, even before you. But
Yeah.
we would, when we first moved to the office we're in now, we were doing birthday lunches once a month
I was
and a
here
bunch
then.
of other stuff.
We've slowed down on the birthday lunches,
I mean,
for sure.
there's just once you get to a certain size, you can only do
can't.
X
Yeah.
amount. So it becomes about quality versus quantity. But there's also a shit ton of quantity that's bubbling up from the grassroots. So there are a lot of initiatives that are cultural that are happening that I don't even participate in. It's like someone else's deal, and I'm like happy.
Handle it.
I might go, I might not go, but I'm not required to go, which is nice.
And no one's required to go.
Right,
That's
exactly.
the thing.
Yeah. It's just people getting together, doing something cool, or doing something fun, or doing something good for the community.
But what's
or-
also really cool is our work has not suffered. I feel like we do better work
Oh, totally.
because of it.
and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And that's the philosophy, and that's the strategy behind culture, is that especially in a business where we're using our brains,
In a creative way.
Yeah. Creative people, and I count everyone in our entire organization as being a creative person, even our accountant. I mean, now it's not creative accounting. Well, maybe sometimes it is on the business side, not on the client
Making
side.
yourself look sketchy
But
financially.
the reality is that we require everyone to try to think creatively around problem solving or problem avoidance or strategic thinking.
Well, and
but if you
they're
want
heard.
people to be creative, they have to be happy and fulfilled.
and they have to feel like they're heard.
Yeah.
Two martini lunch.
Right.
Yep.
Two
Martini lunch.
Because you hear like culture as this pervasive topic across all ad agencies and kind of the agency business, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where like there's the flip side of that is there's a lot of negative culture stuff, especially as you get into big agencies where it's like, yeah, you're working 80 hours a week, but we have a foosball table.
I wanted
And
you to
it's
bring
like-
that up. I saw that on the run sheet.
It's like that's
specifically.
not that's not culture.
That doesn't balance
you have to,
shit out.
Yeah, you have to practice what you preach, and I think we do a better job than any agency I've worked at of like. Yeah, there's going to be long weeks, but that's not the norm. Like
Right.
you
It ebbs
get
and
your shit
flows.
done, absolutely, and like, but you also like, it's like the retreat. Enjoy going out and doing stuff like that,
Not
and it's
email.
it'd be very easy to be like, okay, we're gonna just do this over a weekend or something. But it was very the fact that it's like no, it's starts on a Sunday and goes through like the middle of the week. Like
Right.
it doesn't detract from
Your actual family
From-
at
yeah.
home.
Yeah. I think the other
family
thing
thing's a big deal.
that
Real life family.
contributes
Blood family.
is that
Chosen family.
we are a full service agency and we're integrated,
Yep.
which means that we're working kind of as the primary brand voice for our clients, but also executing, even their promotional plans and their promotional advertising. If we were a more niche oriented agency, like just a social media agency or
Yep.
vertical just in the automotive business or whatever,
Water
I think it's a
parks?
little bit more difficult to because then it becomes because the reason you go vertical or the reason you go niche is to make money.
Right.
And I've always felt that this agency was not in existence to make money. It's in existence to do good advertising, and will make money as a result of that. The making of money is a secondary.
More money, more problems.
It's
It's a
byproduct.
secondary byproduct that you just have to trust in, and because of that, we're able to have better work-life balance because money's not the driver. The driver is good work.
The driver is Mo.
Right. The
driver is Mo.
Mo money.
God, that was awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sincerely, truly.
I'm in a lot of agency networks, and you can tell the ones that are just
Chodes?
in it for not chodes, but just in it. They're just have a different perspective.
Love that word.
They're really
They're
focused
financially
on,
driven. Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know.
They're blinded by the light.
What do you guys think the
Wrapped
next
up
word?
like a deuce.
Wrapped up
Another
like
rumor.
a douche.
Another
Deuce.
rumor in the night.
It's a deuce.
Wrapped up like
Little
a
deuce coop,
douche.
baby.
Juice.
It's a douche, and that's life. I'm also at the episode where I really have at the point of the episode where I really gotta
Have to
pee.
pee.
That's the
oh
episode
my
where you're
god.
sitting-
That's the internal
You're
alarm.
sitting like
You know what?
allowing your bladder more room.
Had your bladder told you it was time to get up, you wouldn't have missed your flight.
Oh, bitch. And you know what's actually
Bitch.
bullshit about that
You
is
drank a lot.
I wake up to pee in the middle of the night, probably around 4 every fucking night, and it pisses me off because it interrupts my REMs. I need them REMs.
I think that the universe conspired to save your life.
I
Because
think
the
it-
overeating, you would have burst, and that would have been. I
I think it just wanted. I think what truly
Plus, we wouldn't have gotten a deposit.
So much
on the
truly.
bus. Yeah.
because of me.
Yeah,
If your body had exploded all
Oh,
over the
true.
bus, we had to clean like.
you're never gonna get the
That's,
deposit
The
back
universe
after
wanted
that.
me to get home to see my dog, is what I think. Because he can't
Oh,
text.
Henry.
He couldn't text me.
You are
I
a
missed him.
dog mom A+.
I missed that handsome,
AF.
handsome dog.
AF dog mom.
He's
AF.
so beautiful. He's the most beautiful person at our house.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
'Clark's
100%.
listening right now, being like, "What the fuck?"
He knows. Zeus
That's
is
a pretty dog.
He's a pretty dog.
Oh, you
but
Is
wanna
that the one
see
that
a
you
pretty
posted?
dog?
Oh shit! Here we go.
Look.
Is that the one you posted?
like, and yes, you guys have beautiful dogs, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like
Not
to
as
me,
beautiful as my
no
dog.
one can fucking hold a
Look at
candle.
that puppy.
Oh,
So,
he's
while
gotten
we're-
so much bigger.
While we're talking about
Oh.
our children,
Mhm.
one of the things
A
that
real
I
child or fur child for
I'm
you?
both.
Okay.
Because I have both. But that is one of the things that It does come top down, but there was a realization that was not just a saying, because I've worked in a bunch of places where they say that, and it's not really true. But there's a difference when your boss actually gets after you and says, "What are you doing? Get out of here."
I have to do that to Carolyn.
Yeah, but that's a big deal for
Right.
somebody to be more frustrated with you in a good way, that you're not prioritizing your kids over shit that can be done later, because it really can.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a
Well, it helps to have a boss who's a chronic procrastinator.
well. There's that.
Some people are just like that, and I understand it, Eddie. The cortisol, like, it kicks in, you get your shit done.
Exactly.
It fucking gets done.
I always hit the post. I never miss my flight. I might be late, and I might have to run.
You've missed a flight before, right?
I have missed a flight.
It's the first one I've ever missed.
I missed one.
Cortisol
You
did
know, it's
not
funny
fucking
when
kick in there.
when I was listening to that podcast about why people do stupid things. I went through every flight I've missed, and then all the stupid shit that's cascaded from missing that flight, and it all fits in those categories. You're traveling, or some of the examples this guy used was like Yo-Yo Ma leaving his $1.5 million cello in the trunk of a taxi.
Oh no.
You know, how do you do? I mean, it's $1.5 million cello.
Oh my God.
But you're rushing, and then all these things take
Shit
place, and you
happens,
just
yeah.
forget. Yeah.
Okay. I really need to be here for the end of the episode, but I have to pee. I need to
Well,
hit a
I think
squawk.
we're at the end of the
It's not
episode.
getting
because
squirmy.
we're
I
already.
have to pee so much.
Culture is good.
Culture is good, and it's
It's a
important.
good thing to have.
Good culture is good.
But you can't just talk about it.
Well, and
And that doesn't make
Don't
it
talk
happen.
about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to use that as an email signed off sometimes too.
You have so many email sign-offs. No, I love
Catch
culture.
on the flippity flop.
I think this was a funny example of the culture without.
I think this whole podcast
Yeah.
is a great example of the culture of at least our agency.
Yeah, it's
This-
the ability to be yourself.
That's me telling instead of showing.
I mean,
you
there's
know?
things that Kallee says that people are like, "Wow, she just said that with her out loud voice."
Yeah.
She has the freedom to be herself.
Have you ever heard of Boss Bitch?
I want to give a little shout out. I just got a random LinkedIn invite.
Oh no, I hate LinkedIn so
No,
much.
but this is the note that came with it. It said, "Listen to your pharmaceutical episode of AdSquawk this
Oh.
week while I was on an anti-opioid proposal for the state of Montana.
Yo.
Thanks for the entertainment."
That's funny.
Yeah, someone I've never talked to.
Can you
before,
respond
so-
and say, "Okay, rate and
welcome.
subscribe,
Yeah, I will.
rate, comment, subscribe. We love
Which
you."
Jenny.
podcast was that?
The pharmaceutical one. That was an early episode.
Yeah,
Oh.
4
right.
maybe.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
We were talking about the change in pharmaceutical ads to
Yeah, having to put a disclaimer of something. There was something
Cost.
cost.
Yeah.
You guys know I talk a lot. It's hard to remember everything I say.
Canada's.
Well, I had to go back and listen to one of our podcasts because someone called us out for being mean to him
Who?
by
Oh,
first
yeah.
name only. He knows who he is, and he'll hear this. And we did say F, and then his name, but it was in a very loving way.
Is it a
It was.
former
It was at the
employee?
very end. No.
Okay, that's the
You'll-
only person
yeah.
I can think
But
of.
anyway,
It's always with love.
yes.
Well,
Mostly,
that's not true.
right.
Off mic, maybe not.
I don't think that we actually talk shit about people that much around
I
here.
feel like I'm
No.
constantly talking shit, and it makes me worried. I'm like, ooh, did I cross a line?
You're the biggest shit talker.
It's
anyway.
usually
Oh, yes.
just
Yeah.
though. It's like I'm not sure about that Edward
No, I
pot
don't know.
kettle bitch.
And that's all we have time for.
I'm trying to think of who's the biggest shit talker in this agency.
Pot
I was
kettle
kind of thinking
bitch.
myself.
Yeah, I think
There's a few
probably
contenders.
I won't say anything I won't
You're,
defend.
you're definitely on the
Callie
podium.
Cakes is up there.
She's on the podium.
I feel like Pickles is up there.
Yeah.
She can.
She's a little more
The-
low key about it though.
The DH is up there.
Mhm.
I'm up there.
Yeah.
Ishmael's probably up there at this point.
CJ's actually up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she's not in like super business mode though.
Yeah, but she hasn't.
She's so good at
been less in business
compartmentalizing.
mode
She has been. I've
for the
noticed
last
that.
couple months.
She's been reading that book.
Yeah.
Well,
subtle
Shout out
also-
to Mark Manson.
Mark Manson.
Hashtag Mark Manson.
She puts in too
Love
much
to have you on the
overtime
podcast.
sometimes.
We would.
And I
God,
will
that would be
email her.
great.
I'm not in charge of that anymore, but like
I kind of trolled him, and then like a week later, he said, "If you want me to come on your podcast, you might spell my name right."
ooh, so
And-
he fucking trolled you back.
No,
Trash
no,
talking.
that
Yeah, I
was
love it.
out in the and then I had to go back and check it, but I think I spelled his name right, but I pretended I didn't. Said my bad. I still like you on our podcast. Did you see that
No.
exchange
No.
with I am Mark Manson?
Okay,
Oh.
so are we squawing?
It was a little bit ago.
Off
Yeah.
mic
Are
you
talk.
about to
I was
pee your
afraid
pants?
like
I
I
really
put
have
because
to go.
autocorrect will often change Manson to Mason.
I agree. That's unfair. Autocorrect's
Damn you,
a bitch.
autocorrect. All right, close us out.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us, and thanks, Cal, for
Callie K.
joining us while you
Fun
were
being
here.
You can also
Yeah.
give me a special shout out for being back.
Yeah.
Thanks
Dee.
for everyone for being back.
I've missed listening to
Jeez.
episodes with you.
Thanks for not
I'm just
bursting
gonna
on the
say.
You can
bus.
also give me a special shout out for like employing you.
You can give me a special
Every
shout out for
podcast.
You
being
give
your
me a special
employee.
shout out for being the heaviest person in the room.
Look, Dee Dee's fire.
You can give me a
So,
special shout out.
I
You
like
can
our
give
Dee.
Ed a
All
special
right.
shout out for being the only one wearing glasses right now. Though Jody and I, at least, and probably Sean, do you wear contacts, Callie?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Oh, Sean
so
does.
do you wear contacts, Sean?
Yeah.
So all three of us were wearing contacts. Squaw.
Squawk.
gonna-
Follow us on @AdSquawkPod on the socials. Use hashtag AdSquawk. And
You said
yeah,
AdSquawk.
AdSquawk.
That's my new. That is my new
you
shit.
can use that
That's
as well,
my new
though
shit.
I'm not checking it.
Do we?
Oh yeah, I probably don't, but
I
we'll
want
use
that.
it.
5-star reviews.
Yes. Comments.
And squaw.
And love you. Bye.
Bye.